Hey, how's it going? This is Maniac Tim with Maniac Sports. Hope everybody's having a great Thanksgiving. Hope everybody enjoyed the Lions game. Uh, you know, they had me scared for a bit there. I still cannot believe they pulled it out. Uh, at the end, you can even make a statement that it was, that it was how you want to say it was kind of given to him, not given to him by the refs, but by the inaccuracy of the inability to have clock management. Uh, so that did really hurt the Bears. Uh, it looked like the Bears were going to tie it up or possibly even win it. They had gotten in field goal range, um, but then again, something happened and it just didn't work. They they had a timeout. Yeah, left. They could have called a timeout, but for some reason they didn't. Uh, they also got to figure out something. Jameson Williams, needs to think. It was a and I'm not saying that was a bad call because that was the right call that the refs made, but you don't throw a ball at the other player, even if it was like you just tossing it to him. It looked like, but the guy obviously wasn't ready. You gotta know the rules. You gotta know what to do in that situation. This was also a story of a tale of two halves too, where the Lions were more dominant in the first half, uh, but in the second half they just really was not deploying offense, racking penalties. I'm sure played a part in it. Not to not to go ahead and take anything away from the Chicago defense because the Chicago defense really was able to put a stop to the high-powered, high-scoring offense, especially in the second half. The Lions did get one touchdown in the second half, missed one field goal in the second half. Jeff Bates' first miss of the year. Uh, but it just showed that the teams that have played the uh, the Lions tough in defense have given the Lions trouble. One of them being of course, Houston. But the Lions were able to figure it out. Um, so there's still some flaws. Uh, I cannot say it was the penalties that got Chicago back into the game because yeah, there was some penalties, but that was on both sides. I seen both sides where there was some ticky tack. Well, that shouldn't have been that. So when the refs were calling it the same way on both sides of the ball, you can't go ahead and say that the refs were against Detroit. It's you know, but I mean, it's just the way it is. It was penalties that did help Chicago out too. A penalty by the you know penalty from late in the game um, that pass interference penalty, where it was obviously earlier they were both tugging and tugging, so, but there was one a little bit earlier too, where Chicago got it for offensive pass interference. So, they're, which, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this game totally, because this game was something that, I mean, I thought the Lions were bringing in a force that would be hard for Chicago to reckon with, but hey, they were able to do it. Uh, and it just seemed like once Chicago got the ball, they were able to score. They were able to score 3 touchdowns quickly in the second half. Uh, Gave the Lions all that they wanted and maybe more. I know there's a lot of Lions in those. I mean, if any game the Lions didn't deserve to win, it would have been this one this year. They won. They had more. They obviously do deserve the victory. But if there was any game that could be said, and it was because of the clock management of the Chicago. I just don't know. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's a good thing I was streaming, because you would see me throwing fit, because I thought the Lions were going to lose, because it sure looked like they were going to do it. It sure, I mean, you just felt something was off. Um, you know, that fumble by Jamar Gibbs, um, that kind of changed the momentum of the game. But you cannot. It was more than a fumble. I mean, yeah, I mean that would put us up by another touchdown. So it would have. The defense stood tall and was able to stop them and stop them from scoring in the first half. Stop the Bears from scoring in the first half. So the defense stood tall. They stopped them. Um, but at the same token, you know, in the second half, uh, it was a totally different ball game. Uh, of course, here's where you kind of miss Khalifa Raymond too. Um, Tater Decker being out, but I thought the offensive line did pretty good. But yet again, Goff ended up having people in his face. So if Taylor Decker would have been there, who knows what would have been. If Aiden Hutchinson would have been there, maybe there would have been more sacks on Caleb Williams. There was a couple sacks on Caleb Williams, but not as much as I would like to have seen. Uh, Caleb Williams definitely looked like the better quarterback. Um, you know, uh, at especially after this at the second half. So, but Chicago's still in learning mode. But Eversley, he should have known. And to me, there is no excuse, for the head coach not to know to call timeout, or the whole coaching staff. There is no excuse for that. So, you Bear fans, I can feel you. I can feel you. You guys had the lines right where you wanted them, and then, and then your coaching staff failed, to call a timeout, which would have gave you a chance to at least tie the ball game with a field goal. You guys may not have made it, but you guys might have. You know, uh, so it's those things, will tick a a fan base off for sure. Um, Lions fans, pretty much shocked, but we all know how the Bears go ahead and play the Lions hard. It's kind of like where Washington and Washington and Dallas play. Washington being the better team this year, but Dallas rose up and found a way to beat them. Uh, and it was, these two teams know each other so well, and um, of course they're um, they're division rivalry rivals. You got one team that is established and one team that is establishing themselves. So and I don't know. I used to call it Thanksgiving magic when the Lions would beat teams a long time ago that they shouldn't have beat. But there's been times that the Thanksgiving magic has not worked. Uh, has seemed to work against the has seemed to have worked against oh, um, the way things are against the Lions is what I'm saying. Um, but this also makes it where the Lions are undefeated this year in the division. First time ever being 11-1 in the team's history. I think next week we got Green Bay, so that's going to be a rough one. Uh, I think that is next week. The Lions and Green Bay. Yeah, we got Green Bay at Ford Field next week. And Green Bay is a hot team. Lions have already beat Green Bay once this year, so we'll see what goes on with Green Bay uh, and the Lions. Lions when the offense had a bad game the week before against um, against Houston. They came back raging the next week against the other team. So things could go both ways uh, on this. Uh, if the Lions I see, if the Lions that showed up today uh, show up next, next week, I don't know. It could be a long week. Um, and of course, Detroit and Chicago are two cities that just go ahead and they're just cities that really hate each other. They do. They hate each other. Of course, I mean I do remember when Dan Hennings was the interim coach and Sheila Ford was so happy that that one of the Lions victory, and I think that was the only Lions victory under Dan Henning, um, that we beat Chicago. And so this, Chicago's been a team that even the ownership of Detroit does not like to lose to. They don't. I wish it would have been more of a dominant game by the Lions, of course. Uh, I had this whole speech where the were put up at first that Chicago went ahead and made a force that they couldn't win, but then that wasn't the case. you know, Chicago was able to handle the force that was the Detroit Lions. You know, fortunately for the Lions, they the Lions were definitely a step above them, a step, a step better than them. You know, and I'll tell you what, if I was the ownership of Chicago, I would be calling Eberflus on the carpet for mismanaging for mismanaging the time clock, for not calling a touch or a timeout. You know, because when it's all said and done, okay, so when it's all said and done, it is, it's still a loss for Chicago. Chicago looked good, but it's still a loss for Chicago. And this, if you remember, if people remember at the beginning of the year, Chicago was looking good. Chicago was pulling off games. They were beating teams that a lot of people thought that they should have lost. Uh, then they ended up going into slide right before their bye and have not been able to recoup since that. Um, I wish the Lions could be like Green Bay is to Chicago, where we just own them, but unfortunately we're not. Now, I'm sure the Lions didn't cover. The Lions did not cover the 9 point spread. 9.5. I think it was 9.5 point spread. So if you guys voted on the Lions and said they would cover, well, I know you guys didn't win there. So sorry about that. But well, I'm not going to stay on here too long. You guys all have a great Thanksgiving. I'll probably be on again later on tonight sometime. Uh, just wanted to check in after the game, tell you how I felt, uh, what, what I thought of the game, and just hey, just go, keep keep it going. And I'll tell you what, the team we've seen today, did not seem like the team that's going to win the Super Bowl. So they got to get their stuff together, and they got to get some people healthy again. Because I mean, we even had, they had mounting injuries. Hey, Grandizer 12, how's it going? Yeah, I know. Yep, coughing with a maniac. How you been? Happy Thanksgiving Day to you, Grandizer 12. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving Day. Well, they didn't spot us. They just went ahead and they didn't know um, they didn't know how to win. That team has a winning deficiency. They do. You go ahead and uh, their coaching staff goes ahead and does dumb stuff like bad clock management. So it's not spotting the lines, but it's they just gotta be mad at their ownership. Is and it I mean in a way they did have us on the ropes, but they had a chance to have us on the ropes because they still would have needed to follow through. And the thing is, they didn't follow through. We cannot go ahead and look at okay the last two plays that the Bears had, okay, was a sack and then a missed pass. So That's not a way of having them, regardless of the clock management. Hey, gobble gobble to you. Hey, Detroit fan man, how's it going? Yeah, that was a wild game. A lot of injuries. Uh, Defense just enough to help Chicago. Yes, the Chicago just Chicago the game away. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's you know I'll tell you what. Right before the end of the game, I got so ticked off because I thought Chicago was gonna win. They're saying that if the Lions lost the game, they peaked too early. You could see, they could have. You could see they have a point there. I think it's injuries though. We have the Lions. Sure, it seems like every few minutes. Uh, no, I didn't. Seems like every 2 minutes. Not 2 minutes, but every few minutes. The Somebody was down on the Lions. So there's a point in time where the next man up is going to break, and I think it came close to breaking this time, and that's what we felt. But and not to take away any credit from the defense of Chicago, because the defense of Chicago did they did stop the uh, the freight train that was coming at them pretty much. They were able to control, and especially in the second half, they were able to stop the line from getting touchdowns. They were able to, yeah, the Lions did get 2 touchdowns, but and so, but at the same, at the end of the day, the Lions were the victors, and the Lions uh, pulled it off. It's just injuries. We finished the game with a 1 and 3 of the roster out, 1/3 of the roster out, and yeah, that's true. I mean, it was like, oh God, now who's going to get hurt? And not to mention all the freaking ones that we have on long-term outs. Before we even got to the game. It's and yet we can say Chicago gave us all we had, or all they had. Okay, all we could take. But yet, with all those injuries that we had, that the Detroit Lions had, we gave the Chicago all they could take too, and won the game. So there's two ways of looking at that statement. You know, Forward down the field, a charging team that will not yield. And when the blue and silver wave, stand and cheer, brah, brah. I think it's rah, 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 go hard, win the game. Uh, with honor you will gain, fame down the field you gain. A Lions victory, go Lions! Uh, oh, that was long. Tim. Yeah, the Bears fans were saying the Lions' injuries weren't key players, right? Yeah, right. They had key players uh, out, especially on defense. Aiden Hutchinson has been out for how long? You had Anzalone's out. Uh, yeah, they are. I mean, one of the reasons the injuries or backups in the game, and some of our starters, and you also gotta look. Our St. Brown was playing hurt. Montgomery's playing hurt. You know, and the reason the backups are in because Taylor, uh, Skipper's in because Taylor Decker's hurt. That's our starter. You know, so they can get out of here with that crap. That's what they can do. They can just go ahead and suck their own toes. We'll put it that way. Restore the roar, defend the den. Win those Thanksgiving Day games. You know, I think now they got rid of the Bobby Lane curse. Okay, they did that. Now what they need to do is go ahead and get Peyton Manning in there and the other guy in there to go ahead and get rid of the Thanksgiving Day jinx because this is what uh, Bears fans were saying were making excuses for why they won the game. So where's the Lions? So where Lions expecting to lose the game? No. Oh, oh boy. But that's and one thing that I made a decision that I was not gonna go ahead and say that it was injuries was why we lost the game. No, hey, it does, especially the injuries before that we have had. But when you're also play, and I mean, I gave credit, and even before you were on here, gave credit to the Chicago's defense. I'll also give credit to the offense of Chicago that got those three touchdowns in the second half. I'll give credit where credit is due because they did deserve and they earned those points. All right, the defense did stop the Lions. So I'm for being that freight train, but they did not do enough to win the game, which is obvious because the Lions won the game. What brings out the maniac in you, Tim's Maniac Sports? Oh, I know what brings out the maniac in me. The Bears, man. I mean, these Bears, they just go ahead and they just go ahead and they know how to throw a monkey wrench in you. They do. They do it. I mean, there's something about that team that they do know how to shine when they play against the Lions. It's like, you know, I mean, they do show up. Uh, okay. Uh, I gotta give St. Brown, actually, uh, player of the game. Player of the game is going to be Sam Laporta, Jared Goff. Okay, for the hero, for being the player heroes of the game. Uh, Coach, you really got to look at. First half, I would say the Lions defense, uh, and but I gotta. Uh, I well, I'm still gonna give it to Aaron Glenn because there was a lot of defensive stars that were out. So I'm gonna give the coach of the game uh, to Aaron Glenn because that I think he deserves a little bit more than Ben Johnson does. Even though Ben Johnson was able to bring up enough of the um, enough offense for the Lions to win the game. Especially in the first half. Second half, I don't know. It's uh, all aboard the hype train. Let's go. Yep. All aboard the Lions hype train. Yeah, I almost forgot the most important word in there, the Lions hype train. Yeah, but shoot, the yeah, but the Lions did what what they needed to do. Now, if I know you're gonna ask it. Bum of the game, I definitely got to give you JMO. Uh, you know, uh, it seems like there's every week uh, that he does something that he can get fined for or whatever. You know, he should know not to throw the ball at another official or not official, another player. You know, which nullified a a great catch that he had. Um, nullified a great catch that he had. So I definitely got to give that to him. He, he's the mama. Uh, bum of the game. I gotta say, Everblues. He's definitely the bum of the game for letting for letting the clock run out. So that would definitely, you have a timeout. You have a timeout. You know, you have a timeout left, and you just let the clock run out. That's stupid. You don't call timeout. Clock run and huge TD. Um, Now, as far as lines for bum, I need to almost give that to, well, uh, I'll tell you what, maybe the offensive coordinator, as far as for, if you look at, especially when you're down there and you come up with nothing and you throw, I, I think the offense should have been able to produce more. I really do. So on Lions, I'm just going to give T touchdown Giants. Okay, yeah, I have the game on, but I ain't been watching it too much because I've been talking, and of course I can't have the volume up at all because even if it gets a little bit of volume on here, uh, it I end up getting dinged by the for copyright infringement, and I don't need to be doing that. That's why I didn't, that's why I didn't stream this game, didn't stream while the Lions game was on. Plus, I wanted to have it loud enough so that I could hear and actually enjoy the game. I know I haven't been streaming like the last three Lions games, but it's been in the last three Lions games. Shoot, the Lions have just really, it would have been actually better to stream there, but of course I've been working a lot of overtime right now lately too, so it's been crazy. Uh, been this work has made us work every Saturday up in up until this Thanksgiving weekend. So it's been 6 days, 6 days, 6 days of work and 1 day off. Which, when I was younger, I didn't mind that. But now that I'm older, I do like to have at least 2 days off. Uh, but doesn't always work out that way. Uh, what's going on? One second. Oh, I gotta. Okay. Um, One sec. I gotta. I will be right back. Yeah, I'll be back on. Um, okay. All right. Um. One sec. I will. Uh, I'm working on getting somebody else on here, and I got some link. All right. Hmm. We'll be right back, folks. All right. I gotta repost this. Okay, I'm not getting it. Sorry. Okay, I'm not getting it. I'm back. Let's see here. All right, I must. Oh, okay. All right, one sec. Yeah, I'll let you in a sec. Hey, how's it going?
It is going. Wow, what a
Yeah,
game.
yeah, let me put this on. All right. Yeah, I'm surprised they pulled that off.
Yeah, that those last 2 minutes were like um heart attack city for me. Because of those calls, and with these last few weeks of pure domination from the
Right.
Lions, seeing us actually almost lose a game
Mm-hmm.
is humbling in a way. And it makes us think, it makes you think that, yeah, we can lose. But we
Right.
just don't.
I know. How
There were so
stupid.
many
Yeah,
interception opportunities that
I know.
should have been executed. Um, I also want to talk about that late flag late in the game. It
Mm-hmm.
was the pass interference call on us, and the whistle blows,
Mm-hmm.
and then flag. And I'm sitting there, with my dad and watching the game, and I'm like, "What's the flag?" And then they called on us for pass interference, and I'm like, "Look at the replay. That was not a catchable ball."
Yeah, and they were both
Mm,
of them were
yeah,
contacting earlier too. So yeah, they it was.
yeah,
But if you look at it, and in order to be in all fairness, so
mm.
they were calling out on both teams a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
for
ticky
sure.
tack stuff. So, but
Yeah,
at the end of the game, a game changing, it's a
mm,
game changing call just really.
yeah, yeah.
But
Because that one almost cost us the game. Or when JMO got that unsportsmanlike call.
oh yeah, I
That
already named him the bum of the year,
mhm.
or the week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
But I mean, our Lions pulled it off again. Close win.
yeah.
11-1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow.
By the way, this is Aaron of a good friend of mine. He's also
Yo,
into training to be a wrestler too.
yes. And if you guys are in the Holland, Michigan area, December 7th at the VFW in Holland, Pure Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Bell time at 7 o'clock, I believe. Doors open at like 6, 5:30 or something like that. I gotta check. Yeah,
Right.
Pure Pro Wrestling. I believe the tagline of the show is "Twas the fight before Christmas," according to what they posted on their YouTube channel earlier this week. Yeah. But if you're in the Holland area or the Grand Rapids area and you love pro wrestling,
Or
Pure
even the
Pro
Muskegon
Wrestling.
area, any West Michigan area, you guys want to
Hmm.
come and check this out. Now it's not
Yeah.
WWE stuff, but Rhino
No,
is
it's similar to WWE, but
yeah.
I really love training at Pure Pro,
Mhm.
and it's just such a great place to train. But yeah,
And,
Holland, December 7th at the VFW Post in Holland.
yep. And what are the ages that they take for training for trainers?
So
Sorry.
they have a junior grappler division, so they'll take from ages, um, I think 5 is the youngest to
Mhm.
17. And then you got the adults, which they'll take any age and an adult. I'm
Oh yeah.
28, or late, almost in my 30s, so I'm training pretty late in my life. But you know what? That's all right.
Hey, it's a dream that you want to do. It's you're
Exactly.
doing it. It's not interfering in any other part of your life. Hey man, you're going ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
You know,
especially with me working first shift, I'm surprised I can do it.
yeah. I mean, he needs to. Yeah. The school is like on the other side of the state. So
Yeah,
so we live on
I
the
drive
west
about
side.
2 hours to get my ass beat and 2 hours back.
Yeah, and
So
you know what? One thing about this is that I know I done it when I was a kid too. You're a
yeah,
teenager, stuff like that. You have
mm,
your backyard wrestling. This is
yeah,
you
I
this is
yeah,
more of a safer place if you want your kids to
yeah,
learn
for
how to
sure.
wrestle and actually experience what it's really like. Because I mean I'll tell you some of the stuff that we used at as for different things.
Mm,
It's not the safest. So
right.
but
Yeah, no, I mean,
go ahead
I
and
was
do
pretty
it.
dumb.
Yeah,
I was dumb as a teenager doing the backyard wrestling shtick,
yeah,
into my early 20s, and then then I found pure pro wrestling, and that was
right.
it.
Yep. Uh, so what do you have to now? One of the things too is
Mm,
this win does make us uh, uh, does make us undefeated so far in
yeah.
the NFC North. So we have
Yes.
beat each team in NFC North one time this
Mhm.
year.
And if I don't know if you know this, but we have actually beaten every team in the AFC South this year.
Right?
Yep, after we beat Indianapolis last Sunday, actually.
Yep.
The thing with the scheduling with the Lions, knowing they play on Thanksgiving, I think they should get a bye the Sunday prior, because all the injuries we saw today on both sides.
Yeah.
Zadarius Smith, our newest addition,
Yep.
very very fragile it seems, and I'm kind of worried that if this keeps happening, you know, especially with Hutchinson out and now Anzalone,
Right.
and yeah, it's just we're getting plagued with the injury bug, and it seems like it's only the Lions at this point, because that's all I'm seeing is Lions players out, and it's concerning to me because Hutchinson was the big one that we lost early
Oh
this
yeah.
year,
Yeah.
and you know not only with Hutchinson being so great on defense, but like him being like a locker room leader along with Jared Goff, along with David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, you kind of lose that family,
Right.
because the Lions are a family, regardless of what people say. We,
Right.
they play their hearts out. They play for for the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan, and everyone now is getting on the Lions bandwagon. It's like, oh, now I'm a Lions fan. Oh, okay. Well, where were you during the Joey Harrington era?
Yeah. Where
I
were
I
you? Yeah.
grew up I grew up
The 0
watching Joey
16 era.
Harrington. The
I mean,
Harrington
where were
era,
you?
the Stafford era, the Kitna era.
Right.
I
Yeah.
was around all of that. And the closest we were to Super Bowl status before Goff was Stafford. You know,
Well, okay.
the you
No,
know,
no. There was one time before that we were one game before the Super Bowl, and that
mm,
was way before Stafford. And
mm,
Eric Kramer was the quarterback back then.
okay.
Uh, that was back when we had Billy Sims. All right.
Okay.
So I think this was a 91 year. We went ahead. We
Mm.
killed, literally killed the Dallas Cowboys
Yo,
in
I
the.
the NFL YouTube channel posted that video like a
Mhm.
year ago or so, and I actually watched that game and I saw the domination on that, on our side of the ball, and I'm like, wow, what happened to us?
Well, we had.
It seems like after Barry Sanders retired, everything kind of just crumbled, basically with the Lions.
Yeah. Well,
You
see,
know.
back then, okay, the
Hmm.
Lions had a system that was called the run and shoot. Okay, and you
Yeah.
didn't you didn't carry any tight ends on the roster. So
Right.
basically, it was like it was a system that was made to so that you could score fast. Uh,
Hmm.
the last year of the run and shoot was actually Herman Moore's first year with the Lions.
Mm.
He but the game after we killed the Cowboys, we
Mm.
got killed by the
Yep.
Washington Redskins at the time. I
Yep.
mean, it wasn't even close. It was like they gave us a slobber knocker, as JR used to
Mm.
say in wrestling. They just whipped our butt. Well,
Yeah.
at that point, the Lions head coach Wayne Fonts at the time said,
Mm.
"Well, we're going to tweak some things. We're going to keep the run and shoot, but we're going to tweak some things to make things more competitive." Well, they didn't tweak some things. They gave up on the run and shoot.
Mm.
Tried to bring in some uh, tight ends, and of course
Yeah.
they didn't get the best tight ends and all that other stuff. And one of the things, even better, one of the things I feel
Mm.
when we did have the run and shoot is that it made Barry Sanders open more
Mm-hmm.
because you had to respect the pass game.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
so you couldn't just always just line up on the put 8 man 9 man in the box to stop Barry. You had to protect the receivers.
Right.
Hey
Well,
Jeremy, how's it going?
What a nail biter. But you know what I got to say? How the fuck do you not call a timeout after that sack with 34 seconds left? Call,
that is what I was saying. Call the
you call the
timeout.
timeout. You have 3 shots to get within field goal range. If you don't make it in the first two, you say fuck it because there's not a lot of time left with no timeout and able to set up a field goal. You take a shot at the end zone.
They had a chance to win it if it wasn't for their pass interference call.
And our pass interference call. It was
That
our
was a BS
that was
call.
the bigger one. And yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because it wasn't a catchable ball. It was 15 yards behind him.
Yeah,
Right.
and they were both tugging on each other. So
Right.
it's
Exactly.
They
so
were
it's stupid.
jockeying for position. He
Hmm.
ran way past where that ball was thrown.
Right,
If that ball would have been thrown at Moore, I wouldn't have had an issue with the pass
right.
interference being
Right.
called.
But how close the ball was to our defender than it was to DJ Moore, you
But
know.
I don't know if you saw my comment I posted on Facebook. I don't know if you put it up there or not about what Dan
I
Campbell
don't
said
get.
about the injuries. But
Yeah.
Rodrigo might be out the season.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
he left the
That was
game.
bad. He left the game
Yeah.
beginning of the fourth quarter.
Hmm. Yep.
Levi and Pascal may miss multiple weeks, which may mean they're not getting re-signed.
Right.
And we also got rid of Houston too.
Well,
Hmm.
yeah,
So
how we waived him, he gets picked up by the Browns, but how fitting is that? Now, if he sharks, it's the same color pants.
Unless they're in their white uniforms.
Right. I
I'm
just, I
the
just
the
had
thing
to hop
that
in. I don't
the
have a
thing
show
that
tonight.
surprises me is they didn't the Lions decided to go all blue, which was the best call. Because usually on Thanksgiving, they go the throwback style, the plain silver helmet, you know,
Listen,
traditional.
we may have broken the streak of losing on Thanksgiving, but the rivalry we haven't beat yet is the waxing gibbous moon base. You know
Mm.
why? Because tonight is the waning crescent moon. And the last two times we won on Thanksgiving, which was back to back years in 2015 and 2016 versus
Yep.
Philly and Minnesota, we also did not wear our throwbacks those two games. The
No.
throwbacks are the fucking curse.
Yeah. Yeah. Exercise them. Just get rid of those. And they
I
are
don't
the
care what
as
alternate
only.
you're.
as much as I love the throwbacks, get rid of them. Don't wear them on Thanksgiving anymore
We've
because we just
we've
broke the
won
curse.
in since we started wearing those, and I think it was in what the '90s is when we started wearing those
Hmm.
all silver ones. We've won two
Yeah.
games, and both of those had Barry Sanders as halfback.
Yep.
Right.
But we wore them every year Barry Sanders was here. So think
Hmm.
about that one.
Hmm.
Right.
So Yeah, there's a horrible record with the throwbacks. And
Mm.
I said, here's the crazy thing. Do you realize how many alternate uniforms debuts we've ruined this year? 2.
Two. Wow.
The Texans, Crimson Red, Battle Reds, whatever they call them,
Oh yeah,
Yup, the
yeah,
all
yeah.
red.
and the midnight blue of the Colts. It
Yep.
was fitting to ruin the Battle Reds of the Texans. You know why? In 2005, the first time they played the Lions, that was the debut of our blacks, and they beat the shit out of us.
Oh, those horrible black jerseys. Oh
Yeah,
God.
yeah, they're not as. You know what? The new ones aren't that different than the old.
I love the new ones, honestly,
They're not
with the
the.
helmet.
Yeah, the helmet change was the biggest
Yeah.
thing. You
Right.
know, because that tied it all in together. They're wearing that more matte blue than the bright Honolulu blue, and
Yeah.
that matte blue matches the helmet. The black matches the jerseys. It ties it all in together with the silver. And I don't know if you noticed the subtlety of the silver striping in the black lion. The silver is still there.
Hmm.
Wow.
Huh.
So yeah, they did really good on matching up the colors, especially with the silvers outlining all the numbers on the black. They
Mhm.
didn't use white. I was happy about it.
Yeah.
There's no white on that jersey except
Yeah.
maybe names.
Right. But I
But
yeah
we're gonna have to poach some practice squads now. That's all there is to it. So
mhm.
anybody who's not
Yeah.
protected, I the first one off the top of my head I'd go for Andre Carter the third out at Minnesota. He's on their practice squad. I'd grab him in a heartbeat right now
Mhm.
just to
Yeah.
see what Terrell Williams could do with them.
Yeah.
I would probably look to someone on good teams with good records.
Yes.
I wish it was Bryce Huff, but he's injured again. So that's why you haven't seen him playing for Philly. But someone on that
Mhm.
practice squad is good. Grab them. We
Yeah.
need
Right.
linebackers and defensive ends. We've had 10 defensive linemen hurt this year now.
Damn. Damn.
Kudos to Z Smith from being able to come back in for a couple plays every time he got hurt today. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's going to be serious. I didn't hear
Mhm.
anything about it, so I don't think it is. But that sack he had won the game basically.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And
But
he
yeah,
was he was in that.
I still don't understand why the head coach for the Bears did not call the timeout. They had one left. They had plenty of time,
There,
and
I'll tell you what. It's been the same thing the last 3 weeks. They've lost by 3 points 3 weeks
yeah,
in a row to
yep,
Green Bay, Minnesota, and now the Lions.
yep,
And you want to know what it is? They're a second half team that don't know how to win. That's
right.
Right.
the problem. They have a coach that calls boneheaded plays at the end of
Mhm.
games. And I'm going to
Right.
leave it at that because that's what we saw.
Okay, so here's a pretty heavy question here. Say we win the Super Bowl. Do you see Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn leaving to be a head coach
I think
anywhere?
Aaron Glenn, because of how
Yeah.
he was voted by the players last year at the end of the season, players respect him. They love him. They
Hmm.
think
Oh yeah,
he was the favorite coach across the NFL. Ben Johnson, on the other hand, made some key statements, and I don't think he's going anywhere unless somebody gives him 20+ million a year as a
right,
first time head coach.
Mhm.
He
right.
said, if I leave, it has to not only be a great roster, but a great organization. So throw the
Mhm.
Bears out, throw the Dallas Cowboys out,
Throw the Packers out.
throw the no, the
Packers are.
Packers are
Eh,
Packers are a good organization. You say what you want. They have a lot of world championship titles even before the Super Bowl. So they've
that's
been
true.
consistently good throughout their history. I'm not knocking that.
Right.
They just their fan base just sucks. But
Yeah.
throw out the Jags, throw out the Panthers. Now the Panthers are the only interesting one for one reason. That's where Ben Johnson and his wife is from.
Mm,
So down the
okay.
road, but they just got a first year head coach. I don't think they're
Right.
firing Canales because we've seen that Bryce Young is starting to look like an actual quarterback
Right.
after he got benched those 3 weeks. And I said this would happen.
Mhm. By the way, Jeremy, this is Aaron. Aaron, this is Jeremy.
I
Nice to
looked
meet
at
you.
the name before I
Yeah.
bought in. Yeah, yeah, I write for the Motor City Tribune. I met Tim through Jim Bordeaux
Okay.
on Detroit Lions on the Prowl.
Oh wow.
So I've been in this game for 4 years now. This is my second season, full season solo, because my first season after I got done with Detroit Lions on the Prowl, I was with a podcast called We Are Lions Nation.
Okay.
When I got with them, they had been doing their podcast for 3 years. And when I got there, they had 29 subscribers. By the end of the first year, they had 209.
Yeah.
And I said, guys, I love you. It's been fun, but I think I need to do this on my own. And here I am sitting at 536 subscribers.
That's
And
awesome.
they kind of gave up again, didn't they?
Yep, they started going, and then when it's like they stopped after the loss to the Buccaneers, and I don't get it. This is the best team to be talking about we've ever had. I said this is the most talent we've had top to bottom on the roster. It's not as much at the top as it is throughout the whole goddamn team.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the fact that this next man up keeps working every week is proof of exactly what I said. We didn't have CD3 out there. Yes, for the first time this season, a quarterback threw for 2 touchdowns versus the Lions. Did you realize that's the first time that happened this year?
No, I didn't. Wow.
Caleb Williams is the first quarterback this year versus the Lions defense to throw 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Damn.
And they were both to Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Not DJ Moore, not Rome Odunze. And I think that was the biggest mistake they made in the draft at pick number 9. They should have took the best guard available. Taking a wide receiver when you have a new quarterback, you have the same head coach, a coach in the dead year of his contract, the last year. He has to win or he's fired.
Yeah. Do we see him getting fired early? Just like we've seen Robert Saleh of the Jets fired,
See, but the Jets have always done that when they have a bad coach. They fire him mid-season. They don't give 2 fucks.
Yeah.
That's Woody Johnson. That's what he does. The Bears, on the other hand, the McCaskies have never fired a coach mid-season. But if Ryan Poles wants to keep his job, I definitely would fire Matt Eberflus. Yeah, that's what I call him. I don't call him Eberflus. It's Eberflus.
Yeah, because, again, why didn't he call the timeout?
I don't know.
He should have called the timeout. They could have regrouped. They could have won the game.
And like anybody on that coaching staff could have done it. So it's like, they all got.
Caleb could have done it.
I don't blame Caleb Williams either.
I don't blame Caleb because
he's a rookie.
Right.
He's a rookie. He doesn't know that side. In college they can't call timeout like that.
Right.
It has to be a coach or a team captain. Now most of the time, if it's a second or third year quarterback, they're a team captain, but never a first year.
Right.
In college. So in other words, in the NFL, it's the quarterback or the coaches. Anybody, any coach. But actually, wait, the head coach is the one that has to signal it to the refs. It can be called by the other guy, but the head coach has to go, oh, yeah, time out.
Yeah.
Wow.
You remember there was a penalty the other night when the defensive coordinator of the Chiefs called the timeout while they were on offense. In the Bills game, that's one of the reasons they lost. They lost.
Yeah. I mean, we can celebrate. The Chiefs have finally lost a game.
You know what we can celebrate? We still only have 1 loss, despite what everybody else's records are the rest of this weekend.
Exactly.
That means we're undefeated at 3-0. And Tim, I told you, I thought we were sweeping the Bears, sweeping the Packers, and splitting with Minnesota.
Yeah. And I am going to the Chicago game at Chicago.
Cool. I wish I could. I can't afford to.
Well, the only way I could do it, because I'm still having car issues. The only way I could do it was because a guy from work, me and him's going to go. I already paid the tickets. I happen to have the money on. I already went ahead and said, here. Yeah.
Let's go to the tail of the tape. Have you guys done that yet? Just looked at the team stats and stuff like that?
No.
Okay. Let's go look at the tail of the tape, because that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Team stats. Lions had 405 total yards, and we gave up 301. We had 211 passing yards and 194 rushing yards. Want to know what it was total for the Bears for passing and rushing?
What?
223 passing yards, 78 rushing yards.
Wow.
Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
5.1 yards per play for them and 5.9 yards per play for us.
Mhm.
Third down efficiency, they did better. They did 7 of 15. We did 5 of 14. They were 0 for 2 on fourth down. We were 1 of 1.
Mm-hmm.
We got 5 sacks this game. Does anybody remember 5 sacks? I only remember like
I,
2.
I remember too.
Yeah, I remember the one near the goal line
Yeah.
where
Mhm.
where it should have been intentional grounding, but they said he was down before it hit when they showed the
Yeah.
replay. His
Right.
ass was this far off the ground, so that was intentional grounding.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the other one at the end of the game. That's all I remember. I don't remember 6 sacks.
I don't
No.
remember all that many sacks either.
No.
Penalties,
I throughout half the game I was eating my Thanksgiving dinner, so I wasn't really watching the game. I was listening to it on the TV, but like, yeah, I don't remember that many sacks to be honest.
penalties.
Don't your family know that you're supposed to be watching TV when you eat Thanksgiving
Right.
dinner on the line?
That's not my how my family rolls when it comes to Thanksgiving. But
All
you
right.
know,
You can get a
So
new family. No, I'm joking.
penal- penalties. They had 8 for 78. We had 6 for 79. So that's a wash.
Yeah, it is. It
Mhm.
is.
But the one we had the only turnover of the game, and we overcame that too. Plus all
Yeah,
the
we did.
injuries.
Yeah, that that turnover, like, cause we were close to getting that touchdown, and then that happened, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? And that was, yeah, that was shocking to me.
Caleb barely cleared 50% completion percentage. He was 20 of 39 for 256 as his total yardage. And three. I don't really why does it say 3 touchdowns? I only remember 2. Oh wait, they did go
That
for
was
the
three. Yeah, they did have three.
okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
DJ Moore. Oh yeah, he got a touchdown, that long one that he ran in, right? DJ
Yeah.
Moore, 8 of 97 and the
yeah.
touchdown. Keenan Allen had 5 for 73. DeAndre
Mm.
Swift was 2 for 35. Cole Kmet was 2 for 26. Roma Tuesday 2 for 25.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams on 4 rushes had as many yards as DeAndre Swift.
Wow.
DeAndre Swift ran the ball 39 times for 3.5 yards. That stat line sounds awfully familiar to me. I think I remember that a lot for the Lions. Caleb Williams, 4 for 39 yards at 9.8 yards a carry. He was the reason they were in that second half. It was how
Yeah.
he ran on those short third downs when everything would
Mm.
break down.
There were so many holding calls on Chicago that were not called
Oh yeah.
during those scramble plays when Caleb Williams was able to bust out of the pocket and get some yardage. I noticed a lot of holding that should have been called, but
But
you
I'm
know,
not going to gripe about penalties not called because we did some stuff that should have been called and wasn't too. So,
yeah.
well, let's
Right.
leave that alone because non calls happen every game. I'm more
Oh
upset
yeah,
about
for
the bad
sure.
calls. Period.
Right.
21 carries for 88 yards for Montgomery, 4.2 yards a carry.
Mm.
That's what you expect out of him. Four to
Right.
Oh
five
yeah.
yards a carry. And
Mm-hmm.
I think he had like 65 broken tackles the first half.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And
I
this
mean,
Mm.
and this is with a hurt shoulder.
right. But that
Yeah.
was just a stinger. He
Yeah.
came out and was dressed and ready to play, and he said, "No, I want to save myself for Chicago."
Yeah. Yep.
So Jameer Gibbs, 9 for 87 yards, 9.7 yards a carry.
That's
Wow.
yeah.
Jameson had 2 carries for 18 yards. And
Hmm.
Goff even ran for a yard, the one where he got the first down on fourth down.
Yep.
Amon Ra, 5 for 73. Tim Patrick, 2 for 48. This is receiving. David Montgomery had another 3 catches for 36 yards, 2 for 17. So both of them eclipsed 100 yards from scrimmage this game.
Wow.
5 for Jameson Williams for 28 yards. So that now puts him over 630 yards. What did I tell you before the season that I thought Jamison Williams' total should be? Do you remember?
Oh shoot, I can't remember that, but I do know.
I said around 45 catches and 750 yards. He's right on track for that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Gibbs, two receptions. Brock Wright had a reception. Sam Laporta, lowest yards on the team, but the best production with 2 touchdowns. That's why I'm wearing his jersey. Let's see.
Wow.
DJ Reader had 2 sacks. Zadarius Smith had a sack and a half. Muhammad had a sack. Turner had a half a sack. There they are. I just don't remember that many sacks.
I
Grant
don't
had
either.
six total tackles. Dorsey had 5 tackles. Joseph had 4 tackles. Vildor even had 3 tackles.
Mhm.
Campbell had 3 tackles. Malcolm Rodriguez had a total of 5, 2 solo, 3 assisted. DJ Reader had 4 tackles. Lee McNeil had 2. Zadarius Smith had 3 other than his sack. Muhammad had a tackle and a great pass defended by his helmet that Branch was upset about.
Yeah, that was
That Branch
good.
Branch was upset about it because he was right there for the pick, and he's like,
Oh
"Oh
God.
motherfucker!"
Mhm.
Pascal had a tackle. Neiman had a tackle. Arnold had a tackle. Long had a tackle. Wingo had 2 tackles. I mean, we weren't a bad tackling team.
No.
Let's go look at their defense. Wait, did I say that right? Did they have 0 sacks? What? Oh no, they had 2. They had 2. I
Okay.
forgot that both the times Goff slipped. I don't call those sacks. That's called a quarterback being stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Lions hang on to beat the Bears and Blue.
I know
Aberflus
he.
takes blame but says the Bears handled the final drive right. Oh, what an idiot!
What?
Oh
I
my
mean,
I
yeah,
God.
agree with
if you want to act like Chicago
Okay.
Bears, yeah, they definitely handled it right.
Lions
They may
versus
have
Bears.
handled it right, but he didn't handle the clock right.
Mhm. Their clock management was horrible at the end.
I mean, that's don't do that. I mean, that's something a third grader should
Uh, you
know.
know, you know what that reminded me of? Every close loss that we had when Stafford was driving down with Jim Caldwell,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
because Jim Caldwell was horrible with time clock management too. Matt
Yeah.
Eberflus is Jim Caldwell without being able to call an offense.
True. Wow.
I've seen a lot of memes today. The best one that says 100 ways to lose, and it shows a picture of Matt Eberflus.
Oh, that's so.
Oh, yes.
Five
Oh
and
man.
19 in one-score games. You want to know what Dan Campbell's record is? Hired the same year
Ah, shoot.
in one-score games.
Um. Yeah, I want
10
to
and
know.
3. 10 and 3.
Wow. Wow.
Oh man.
Man, we got another big game next week though too.
I said, yeah, we got it. We got to come back on Thursday tomorrow next week. Be on Amazon
Yeah.
Yep.
versus the Packers. But I will say, the last time we played the Packers, we beat them by 10 points. We
Yeah.
beat Minnesota by 2, and we beat the Bears by 3. Does this mean the Packers are the worst team in the division?
Against us, they are.
I mean, if you think about it, results wise,
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
fits. 31-29 versus Minnesota.
Yeah.
24-14 versus the Packers. And if they didn't get a garbage time touchdown and 2-point conversion, it would have been 24-6, just
Right.
like the Colts. And the Bears hung with us. They're, like I said, they're a second half team that can't close out a game. That's what they are
Hmm.
right now. Until
Yeah.
they do, I'm going to keep calling them that. 20-23, we win. just hearing the scores, it sounds like the Bears are a better team.
Right.
We've heard all year if they were coached better, they could be a 7-4 or a 7-5 team right now.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of agree with it
Yeah.
because of their 8 losses, 6 of them have been one-score games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Can
true.
you imagine being 4-8 and being able to keep your job?
I mean, I know there's been a lot of Lions coaches that were kept too long at that record.
This just in, the unedited version of the Ryan Poles speech to begin this season. We're taking the North basement and not giving it back.
They can have the North basement. I don't want it back.
Well, here's the crazy thing. As bad as we've been historically, you
Mm-hmm.
realize we've been in the basement less times in this millennium, even with the 0-16 season than the Bears.
Wow.
This will be their 7th or 8th trip to the basement. The Lions, it was 5. And 2 of those was with Matt Patricia.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Don't remind me of Matt Patricia.
But why? Bill Belichick says that we're winning on the foundation that Patricia left behind.
nope. Yeah, no. Most of
I
his players,
normally I normally agree with a lot of things that Bill Belichick says. I can't agree with this one.
no.
Now, if you wanted to say the foundation of their O-line was left there by Bob Quinn, I 100% agree with that. Because
Mm-hmm.
of Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, and Frank Ragnow were all drafted by Bob Quinn.
Right.
Yeah.
But we should all celebrate because this is Lions Emancipation Day. Do you know what Emancipation Day it is from? 4 years ago today, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia was relieved of their duties with the Detroit Lions. So this is a double win day.
Yeah.
And we went on Thanksgiving. It's great. Yeah, it's
I mean,
wonderful.
we didn't win as much as the Bears lost it,
No.
but it's still a win. We're 11
Right.
and 1 for the first time in team history.
I
The
know.
team's been around for 90 years. They've never been 11 and 1.
Oh.
This is
Yeah.
the first time we've had 3 back-to-back-to-back winning seasons in Lions history.
Yeah.
Wow. And there's been one head coach that has had that.
Motor City Dan Campbell.
Yep.
MCDC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
think so scenario here. Say we go Super Bowl. Do we got Bills or do we got Chiefs?
I want it to be Bills.
Mm.
Because the
I
Bills
think
can't win a Super Bowl.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're like the Minnesota of the AFC.
They are. Both of them been there 4 times and never won it. Let's get them there and then shut them down.
Yeah. I do got another question as far as what you think, and I know you're the research guy, Jeremy. The first 2 Super Bowls that Green Bay has was actually before the merger. So way back then, the NFL and the AFL
Wasn't
each
it
had
68?
championship games. Each had championship games.
Yeah, the one was called and they considered one the third place trophy. It was some sort of benefit bowl, right?
Right.
The 2
But
best teams played, and that was the championship game. And then there was the third place game by the runners up of each of those, right? And it was whoever had the best record and made it to the game before the World Championship. That was the penultimate game, also Earl something benefit bowl.
well, I had this friend that he always used to say that the first 2 Green Bay Packer championships were kind of false because it was more like exhibition game.
Well, they didn't even call it the Lombardi Trophy
Oh no, not back then.
until 1968. So
Yeah.
technically, neither of those are Lombardi. They
Right.
only
Exactly. And they backdated the Super Bowl. Because it wasn't called the Super Bowl back then.
Burt Bell Benefit Bowl is what it was.
Okay.
That's the game I'm talking about. There used to be a third place championship. You know what team went back to back to back winning it? 60, 61, and 62?
Lions.
The Detroit Lions.
Wow.
We were the third place champions. It's kind of like being the first loser on Talladega Nights. I'm sorry. You're not first, you're last. But
or like winning an INT.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like saying, "Oh, I went to the family reunion. Thank God nobody saw me kiss my cousin."
Oh my god.
As you can see,
Yeah.
Aaron, we have fun on this show.
I can tell. I like it.
I run my own show too.
Yeah.
I'm live. I think more than almost every other podcast.
Yeah,
You've seen it. I go live all the time.
You're live as much as Joseph Dion went ahead and always loaded videos like he used to do.
Right, but I am actually live doing
I
it.
know you are live. You are
Right.
live.
I don't do the edited videos. I like
No.
my mistakes to be live on the air, and I own up when I say something wrong.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like I said, remember I told you I didn't think the Goff deal would get done for more than $48.5 million. I was wrong. I admitted it.
Yeah.
But I had my reasoning for it, and it had to do with that cap number, the percentage. But we got an extra amount of cap added after they started doing it, and I was like, okay, well, it still barely fit under that cap management number. 18%.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is there, Aaron? Have you ever heard this, the 18% rule?
I've not.
No QB that's ever won a Super Bowl has made more than 18% of the total salary cap. And Tom Brady's not even an exception. And neither is Mahomes, because last year was the first year when he was over 40 million, and that was still 18.1% of the salary cap.
Yep. And actually, Tom Brady gave the Patriots years of discounts.
Right. And the only year he gave a discount was so Mike Evans could get paid, and they gave that money to Chris Godwin, if you remember right.
Right.
And Mike Evans was hot about that. He almost left that team.
Yeah.
And I still say that Chris Godwin is the Juju Smith-Schuster of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because remember what happened after AB left? Juju Smith-Schuster fell apart.
True.
I think the same thing would happen to Chris Godwin if he was actually off the roster. I'm not saying hurt or any of that.
Exactly. So, I mean, with the way the team is playing now, how many of the remaining games do you think the Lions are going to win?
All of them.
I hope we win all of them. But I say the three toughest ones left.
Right.
That's Thursday coming up. The Bills the week after that, and then the Bears.
Right.
Yeah, because we got the Bears again at Soldier Field.
Right, at Soldier Field, with it being outside in the middle of December. That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
And plus, they're going to want revenge on this game.
I'm not scared.
I know.
I'm not scared either. I just hope our guys. I just hope our guys are healthy for that game, and they play their hearts out, because gotta keep that streak going for sure.
Yeah, we do need it.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
and
what an amazing way for the game to go. It wasn't the prettiest.
No,
nowhere near was the best game we've seen. Cowboys are it's 7-13 right now. It's halfway through. A little over halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah.
Drew Lock looks like he should have been the one that took over for Danny Dimes a long time ago.
Yep. Now, how much of a threat do you think Minnesota is? Because that's the last game of the year.
If we're still a game up and we've locked up a better record in the division,
I know we
I
still
don't
win.
care.
Yep. See, I was so mad that Chicago didn't win last week. Oh man, last week I wanted them to win. I want, I wanted so bad for them to meet Minnesota, but they couldn't close the deal. They tied it up and then they just
They choked. They're the new Lions, like from yesteryear.
right.
Choking second half, you know,
Yeah,
dominating the first half or at least like being close. And then
right.
when second half comes, last minute of the game, something happens and you're done. You
Well,
choked.
last week they tied it up at the last minute
Mm,
of the game, and then in
yeah.
overtime they just went ahead and I don't know. I done my
They
job in
didn't they
overtime.
lose didn't they lose the coin toss?
No, they
Or
Who?
won the coin toss
no,
Who?
yeah.
last week. They won the coin toss, but they couldn't move the ball.
Mm. I I don't like our NFL overtime rules. I wish they would do the way they do in college, where
I don't know. We've always been a sudden death overtime league. I kind of
hmm
like that. Uh,
yeah.
yes, King SJ. Hey guys, wow, what a finish!
Yeah,
Matt
Wow.
Matt
That's all I
Matt
gotta
yeah.
say.
Matt Eberlu's doing Eberlu's thing. The Bears still suck. The Bears
Yeah.
still
They
suck.
still suck. They really, really suck. The Bears still suck.
Uh,
Funny
Oh
funny
man.
enough, my dad growing up was a Bears fan because Walter Payton was his favorite player. So I feel like if he never discovered Barry Sanders and the Lions, I would probably be a Bears fan.
uh, I will say one thing. Statistically, Walter Payton was the better running back, but the
Yeah.
better running back to watch was Barry Sanders.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like from time to time I'll just look up Barry Sanders highlights and watch them just for the fun of it.
You ever watched his kids' high school highlights? Barry Sanders
No.
Jr. Oh my God! Next time you're on YouTube when you're just
Yeah.
sitting there and you want something to
Yeah.
watch, look up Barry Sanders Jr.'s
Mhm.
highlight. In high school, it looked like he was going to be better than his dad.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid was. What about the hurdle by Jamison Williams?
Oh, that was good. That was
I mean,
awesome.
that wasn't a guy bent over. He was
Yeah.
fully upright, ready to hit him. He's like lined up with
Yeah,
his shoulders.
I
And
would
next thing
say
you know,
that hurdle
woo,
that hurdle was more impressive than Saquon Barkley's hurdle.
Yeah.
no, no,
May
no, no.
no,
Saquon Barkley hurdled a guy backwards. Come on.
yeah, uh, yeah,
I,
that was
I,
pretty impressive.
I
would
still
say.
would take 21 touchdowns over 13.
Mm,
Yeah, me too. Me too. 21 touchdowns, way, way better than 13.
yeah.
Way,
Now
way
we got
better.
2 more touchdowns in the passing game. Who's the next one that's going to try to wear an alternate uniform and have it get screwed up by the Lions?
Um, Packers, maybe. Well,
No, well
no,
they might wear their winter warriors on the road because that's white.
right.
That'd be a damn shame to ruin it.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see, though.
Anything we can take away from the Packers would be great.
And then
Yeah.
of course, Jack Campbell tackles Caleb Williams in his hip, and everybody goes, "There's those dirty Lions trying to take out knees again."
Calling us dirty players all the time. Like, come on, it's
We got
football.
rid of our only dirty player. The one that shat himself. That's the only reason why he got sacked. No one wanted to block him.
No.
He got so excited when he got past the tackle, he shit himself. Oh, I did it! Too
Oh
much Taco
no.
Bell.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Well, happy
Oh,
Thanksgiving. I just wanted
Happy
to
yeah.
come in,
Thanksgiving.
talk a little stuff with you. It's
Oh,
what I
you're
do.
always welcome, of course.
I
Happy
know.
Thanksgiving.
And I saw you were live, and I was like, I gotta go say something because
Yeah, no,
I don't.
I saw Tim was live and I was texting him for the link and he's like, "Oh, it's on the chat." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So
I had on the chat much earlier. See, I didn't get your text
I
right
didn't
away
check
because
the
I had,
chat. That was my bad.
yeah. But I didn't get you. I didn't see your text because I had my, it's on silent when
Yeah,
I'm on the, so
yeah.
when I finally seen that, I missed the text. I seen it was you, and it's like,
I
and
want to
I was
say
like,
thank.
okay, go.
Before I go, I want to say thank you, Tim. You, Jim Bardot, Kurt Steele, all those guys from Detroit Lions on the prowl, Valerie Bordeaux, Luke G. You guys were my start,
Well,
and it means a lot to me.
your friendship means a lot. It does, and I'm
It,
glad. I'm
isn't
glad.
it? Isn't it so nice to have stuck it out, not jump shit, not be a bandwagoner, and
Oh, right.
be here to watch this happen.
No,
And
right.
I was going to refute you when I first clicked it on YouTube and I heard you say, "Oh, the Matt Stafford years is the closest we got to a Super Bowl." I was like, "Does he not know 91?
Right. That was, yeah. That was it.
The last time we won a
I already
playoff
took
game?"
him. Yeah.
I know. I
I already
heard
took
you.
him. Yeah.
I was like, that year we had one of the best wide receiver cores.
Mhm.
Herman Moore, Brett Perriman, and I think that was Johnny Morton's rookie year.
I think so.
Yeah, because we had all three of
Yeah.
them with 1,000 yards receiving.
Hmm.
Three wide
Yep.
receivers
Yep.
with
And
a
Eric
thousand yards
Kramer.
receiving. And
Eric
Eric
Kramer.
Kramer came in because Rodney Pete got hurt.
Yeah. And then Andre Ware got hurt too.
Well, Andre Ware was dog shit anyways.
I know he was. He was. But Andre Ware and Rodney P got hurt. Eric Kramer was the third string quarterback. He was. Everybody called him a scab because it was. He was from when that year that the Players Association went on strike or the lockout, and he came in. So everybody called him the, but he was the one that had the only playoff win up until Jared Goff. You know,
Right.
wow. And but I did think that the run and shoot gave Barry more room to run because they had to key on like you said, our three receivers. They had to key on them. Once they left that run and shoot, they just kept on putting so many, and he would still break out. So
So I don't know why, but the prior to the season, they only gave Amon Ra an over under of 8.5 touchdowns. I placed the bet. I'm waiting to be paid out on it because he already hit it.
okay, right?
The parlays have not been hitting good. Today was a weird one. I should have did anytime Laporta 2 touchdowns, but I didn't do
Mm.
that.
Right.
That was stupid.
And this is kind of the part of his best game because he's been,
He's been
yeah,
injured.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't play good if you're injured. That's all I
Oh
know.
no, no. But I knew for sure Montgomery would be in there injured or not. But like you said, he just saved himself, last week when we really didn't need him for this week.
Yep. Uh, we didn't need him last week at all. It was
No,
all
we
a
didn't.
gift show.
No, we didn't need last week. We just
Also before that second half, We haven't let a touchdown in 12 quarters. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
and
at the same
then
time, that's the first quarterback to throw 2 touchdowns against this defense in
mhm,
any game.
yeah,
Mhm. I mean, that's, and it took, just keep on, things we just kept getting more injuries, more injuries, more injuries.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, I. So your predictions on the Packers game next week, what do you think is going to be?
Mm.
I think it's going to be a very close game. I I don't see us blowing anybody out right
Right,
now.
right, 2 injured.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean,
I I think the Lions will win by 1 point. I
okay,
I
we
remember
could.
what I remember one time I made a prediction on Detroit Lions on Pro. I made it 1 week prior than they actually did it the next week. And Chris Steele had gotten mixed up because he said that I had made it that week, and it's like, okay. I just said I don't know what the score is going to be, but it's going to be 1 point. The Lions will win by one
It
point.
it's gonna be a tough game for sure. Packers coming into Ford Field with revenge on their sights, trying to get the win against us. I think it's going to be Lions win with by a touchdown.
Okay.
I think it's going to be something like a 24-21 game. I think we win by a field goal.
Mm.
Mhm.
Don't forget, they can kick field goals too. They got Brandon McManus, who's
Oh
been
yeah.
pretty good.
Also, Jake Bates finally misses a field goal now. Like
It
that
wasn't
was
on the left hash.
no.
It was on the right hash. It looked like a little bit of a bad snap, which is the first one
Mm,
we've seen.
yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not going to be upset that he missed
No.
a
Mm.
field goal.
I'm not upset either. It just surprised me when he missed.
Well,
But
Oh,
what?
it was surprising.
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing that was weird. Do you, do you know who? Aaron, do you know who Tim Reardon is?
Um,
Beef oven operator for third shift. So he'd be leaving when you come in.
right.
And I know
Um,
sometimes he stays and helps on rack on. Well, okay. He sometimes he stays and he helps beef packing in the
yeah.
morning too. But
Oh,
he had just yesterday. Yeah, no, day before yesterday, he was saying
yeah.
that he wanted Jeff Bates to miss one because
Right.
he didn't want
Um,
because he didn't want him to miss the one that they really needed, like in the playoffs or something like
yeah.
that. And so I just kind of, after he said that, I kind of scolded him. I said we don't want him to miss anything,
Yeah.
not even in the playoffs and not now. So,
Mm,
but it's just kind of
right.
I agree.
ironic. It's just
Yeah.
kind of ironic that the game right after Tim Reardon had said that, they
Mm,
missed it.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's yeah. That's a little odd there.
yeah. I remember when Bates played for the Panthers. He
Mm,
uh
yeah.
he would go ahead and make the long field goals and stuff like that. But there was, um, I think there's one game that was an outdoor game that he missed like a couple
Hmm.
for the
Yeah.
Packers. So
He has struggled outside in his career.
yeah,
The first
Hmm.
miss he's had in Ford Field, whether as a Lion or a Panther, and I'm not upset with it. I
yeah.
mean, he's
Oh
what
no.
17 of 18 on the season. I can live with that,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's still impressive. So
especially for
yeah.
a guy that didn't even kick in high school.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
All right,
Yep.
guys, you have a good one. I'm gonna go get some grub.
All right. You
Happy
too.
Thanksgiving.
Yep. Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yep. All right.
Man. But yeah, no, these past couple weeks, with the Lions, with the pure domination and then almost losing was
I know.
really, really odd. Because the past few weeks we've been so used to just dominating these teams, holding them for no touchdowns.
Yep.
And then you got Caleb Williams here, Heisman Trophy winner from USC, first round draft pick to the Bears. You know, you,
but
he's a good player. He's a
yeah.
really good player.
But then
Yeah.
then there was also the flip side to what you're
Mm,
saying too is that our
yeah.
inability to score as much as we should have.
Right.
The
Hmm.
defensive struggles or the offensive struggles that we had.
Hmm.
Now of course they were in Goff's face a lot. They
Oh
might
yeah.
not have been a lot of sacks, but
Yeah.
they put
A
pressure on
lot of
Goff's face.
pressure. A lot of pressure.
Yeah,
Because they
and
know if Jared Goff can get that ball out and,
yeah,
you got him on Ross St. Brown or JMO or, Tim Patrick or Sam Laporta.
yeah, and I really think that there was, I really think we could have had two more touchdowns, but
I
pretty
feel
much
like if it was Gibbs that fumbled it,
fumbled.
right? When
Right,
yeah, that
we
that
would we
fumble.
could have had.
Yeah, that would have been a touchdown if Gibbs broke away from that tackle because it was right like on the 5 yard line too when it
Or if
happened.
we would have
So
just kept the ball, I think we would have got it.
mhm,
You know,
mhm.
and
If
I
he would have
do
just been
think,
tackled at the
yeah,
5, kept the ball,
yeah,
you know.
and the other time that I think we would have could have got a touchdown was
Mm,
when JMO got caught at 15 yards and we had to go back.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that those two cost us
Mhm.
touchdowns. Now
I,
I'm not
I
going to go ahead and roast, roast gifts for losing that.
right,
You know,
right. No,
uh,
things happen in games.
hmm
Uh, things happen. You can't control it
right.
sometimes.
hmm and that was a hell. I mean, that was kind of like a forced fumble too, because the helmet hit where
Yeah.
he was running, and
Oh yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
it's. I mean, I would have if I look at it, I would have rather had them lose the ball than
Hmm.
have Gibbs break an arm.
Yeah.
If I look at it that way. So, I mean, if you want to look at a bright side of things, he hit his helmet hit the ball instead of the arm and knocked it out.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
if Gibbs breaks the arm, and then then Sonic's gone for the rest of the year.
Yeah. No, the penalty that JMO got late in the game where he threw the ball at the guy's face. I feel like the guy smack talking him should have got a call too.
Right.
Unsportsmanlike for taunting. But it is what it is.
Yeah. And now I think the rest were because JMO was trying to, but there's been, I mean, if you look at it, I do think JMO needs to do
He
some
needs to calm
maturity.
down a bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's playing too much like he played in college and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
in a way he's kind of like a rookie because the
Hmm.
first year he didn't play. The second
Right.
year he played limited games because of his
Hmm.
suspension.
Well, I mean,
You
his
know,
his first. If I'm not mistaken, his first play was a touchdown pass.
oh yeah, his first play was.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Hey, 313 New Breed, how's it going, buddy?
How's everyone doing today?
What a
But yeah,
game!
no, like this whole season just feels different compared
I
compared to last season. It
Mm-hmm.
feels a lot different, but like in a really good way
Right.
because compare obviously the win-loss record compared to last year definitely different. Obviously the one loss to Tampa Bay
Right.
that was a
Yeah.
crazy game. I was honestly was expecting for us to lose to Dallas, but we went to Dallas and we dominated that game. But
And then we,
honestly, I was expecting a loss because, of what happened the year before, how the refs screwed us over in Dallas, and
right,
just,
but we were just so darn. Oh yeah, you gotta get your claws out. Great.
your claws out. It's fans. I love it. I,
Let's hear your roar. Come on, come on.
roar. We got it.
Uh,
Lions fans, we love it because this season just alone has been historical.
oh, it is. It is.
And and funny thing, we were talking about Super Bowls. Before it was deemed the Super Bowl, the
Hmm.
last team to ever win the championship before it was the Super Bowl were the Lions.
Right.
And and since then we couldn't get it done, and never been to a Super Bowl, and it's like, oh, people are like, oh, the Lions, they'll never go. What? And
But
then and then and then look at us now, we're 11-1, 10th straight win. I see it coming. I do. Even if
the
we lose
only
one
thing
more,
is,
even if we lose one more game.
I know, but it's I know what you're saying, and I feel it too. But
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to look at a Super Bowl when you
Mm-hmm.
see the way they played this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Especially with the injuries. I
yeah,
feel like if we had
and
a
you
fully
also,
healthy team, like
mhm,
with Anzalone, with Hutchinson, the game definitely would have been different. We would have, it probably would have been another blowout
right.
for sure.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Wow, loud at the top of your lungs. Try you might like it. Oh, I love it. Um,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
no, the last quarter of this game really had me on the edge of the seat because
Oh,
man, yeah.
let's just say that if I would have been streaming the game, people probably would have heard some things that probably should have been bleeped out.
Mm.
Because it's like, yeah, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would.
You know who we got to get on the podcast after we beat the Packers again? Longmire on first
Oh yeah,
shift.
yeah, yep.
Yeah,
That
he's a
we do.
big Packer fan.
Oh God, yeah. But when the Packers wasn't doing good, he he was not a Packer fan.
Mm. Oh,
When
really?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
he is fair weather as can be,
Mm.
and he actually probably it will probably never happen. But he actually told me if we won like the division and stuff, that
Yeah.
he would pay for me to go to a Lions game. But I don't
You
ever see
you
him
know for a
doing.
fact the Lions are going to win the NFC North again for sure.
But I mean that was even this was
Mm.
even before that
Oh,
that
okay,
year,
okay.
so
Yeah.
that has already been accomplished.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no, but
I just
I
kind
I
of
got I got the Lions winning the NFC North again. They're
yeah.
um that this next game against Packers, it's gonna be a close one for sure.
Hmm.
But like I said, Lions are gonna win by a touchdown. You know, it's not gonna be a blowout, but it's not gonna be, you know, that close of a game. It's gonna get close, but I feel like it's gonna be down to a touchdown.
Right.
And I got the Lions winning for sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I personally, I grew up during the Joey Harrington era, so it's like seeing seeing the Lions be this good is so great. If because I've never left the Lions fandom ever.
Right.
Even during the 0-16 season, I stuck with the Lions through and through.
Yeah,
I'm a Lions fan until I die, for sure.
yeah.
That's how it
Blue,
is.
blue,
Same,
blue, blue
same,
and silver.
same with the Tigers, same with the Red Wings, same with the Pistons. Gotta stick
Same
with
with
my
the
Detroit
Mighty
teams.
Ducks.
I do love
I,
the Ducks. I do love the Ducks.
I remember you told me that. That's the way.
Yep. But both Red Wings games I went to were against the Ducks. So yeah.
Hey, that was kind of quacked up though.
Man, I guess you got to put it on my bill.
I don't know. It might drive me quackers.
Oh well, you gotta fly. Well, no, I'm actually going to the Griffins game tomorrow, so
Oh yeah!
that's gonna be.
Wow,
Yep.
cool.
Yes, I am. Yep. Yep.
Oh.
Against Milwaukee. So yeah. Yep. The funny thing is with this whole Lions fandom. Okay,
No, I'm
it's
joking.
it's hilarious. So I was at the Creed concert
Okay. Yeah.
uh this month,
Yep.
and Three Doors Down just got done playing a song, and everyone started chanting Jared Goff.
Oh wow!
Just out of randomness, everyone started chanting Jared
There you
Goff
go. Yeah.
as we are leaving Van Andel Arena.
Okay.
Jared Goff,
Go.
Jared Goff.
Oh my
Like the
gosh!
most random place, like a concert where Jared Goff isn't even there. You get
Wow.
Jared Goff chance. Fun fact:
Yeah.
Tim was a Lions season ticket holder when Dutch Clark. Ah, nice.
I can find.
That's impressive.
Yeah. See,
1931.
yeah, yeah, right. A little bit before my time.
way before your time. But yeah,
Oh,
no, like you see all this Lions fandom everywhere, and like everyone's chanting Jared Goff or
I
chanting
know.
for Dan Campbell, and it's like, are we becoming the Chiefs now? Like fandom wise, because when they started like winning Super Bowls, everyone started getting on the Chiefs bandwagon,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I'm afraid that like obviously most of these people are getting on the bandwagon for the
Hmm.
Lions because of that. And I just like, if you're a true Lions fan, show it. Don't just become one because of how good we're doing.
Right.
Because that just shows that you're not a real fan. You weren't there for the 0-16 season. You weren't there for the Joey Harrington era, the Dan Orlovsky safety.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I was
Oh
there
yeah.
for all of that. And
Right.
again, seeing this Lions team just be so good now, it feels like this is all a dream and it's not real.
Yeah. But
Like,
in some ways, because
mm,
if you look at,
mm,
okay, do you know why William Clay Ford bought the Lions in the first place?
no.
Okay. Uh, Story goes that when he was at a Lions
Mm,
game with his dad,
mm,
he said, "Why does this team suck so bad?" Well, his dad, and I don't have any facts to know this is true, but
right.
his dad had said, "Well, if you don't like it, why don't you just go ahead and buy them?" Well, so he ended up buying the Lions. Um,
Mm,
well, unfortunately, they still sucked after. you know,
yeah.
I mean, and it was. Yeah, I think I think money got in the way,
Mm,
but I think that um, they missed out on the money that they could have had by
yeah.
having a great team.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, did you know at one time the NFL was the lowest paying league of your major sports? if that make it.
I did not know that.
It wasn't until free agency was when the
Mm,
salaries went up.
mm,
And you know what? You know what? Kind of helped the salaries to go up.
mm.
Another league that used to be a long time ago. It was the original United States Football League.
Okay.
Because what happened back then was that
Mm,
the um, Players Association, they
yeah.
had to disband, but
Mm,
they took the NFL to court, and they were able to show that the United States Football League, when you put competition on because the original United States Football League was
mhm,
competing against the for players.
mm.
They were overpaying. They were taking players out of the NFL to play for them because they were giving them better contracts. They were giving them
Right.
better money. So by doing that, the Players Association went ahead and
Mm,
took the NFL to court years later and caused them to allow free agencies.
yeah.
So this United States Football League that we got now, which isn't
Yeah.
even the is a watered down version of what it used to be.
Right.
All right. Okay, let's see. Fun. Okay, you already read that one. So let's see what else he has to say. Tim, looks good
Dude,
for.
First H has been he's been around.
See what type of
He's
beauty.
in those ovens all night.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, don't tell where we work here, though.
I'm not.
No, I just. Uh, uh, okay.
It was a drummer boy 776.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man. It seems like we like to have fun here on this podcast. I love
Oh,
it.
there's been times that really went off the rail where we went from. I mean, we were talking about uh, serial killers and stuff like that
Oh
too later.
god.
That's why I had to. That's why I had to rename it Tin Maniac Sports and Entertainment.
Oh man.
Oh,
But yeah, yeah, if you guys are in like the Grand West Michigan area, you guys love pro wrestling, pure pro wrestling, Summer 7th to Holland
mhm.
at the VFW. It's
Now, are you going to be wrestling in that, or are you not going to be?
I don't know yet. I haven't been to training in a while. It's been a few weeks for me.
Okay.
Cuz of adjusting to the newer schedule that I'm on. Um
Yeah, you've been working
so
6 days a week too, so
well,
it's
not only that, but I go in a lot earlier now.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Um
what time they got you going in? Just
huh?
curious. What time they got you going in?
Uh I clock in at 5:24 in the morning.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz I set up the line so
Oh.
for our area.
Mm-hmm.
Um but yeah, no. If they do a battle royal or something at the show, most likely I'll be in it.
All right.
Um so, get as many people in there as possible. So,
Yep.
yeah, no, my training so far is going really well. I'm having a great time at it. It's just the distance for me. It's the 2 hour drive.
It,
It's very tiring,
mhm.
especially after training. It's even more tiring because I just want to
Yeah.
sleep. Yeah,
And then a lot of times you gotta be back to it isn't like you could just stay over there
right. Yeah.
because you got
I
kids
mean
to work.
if I went on a Friday and I wasn't scheduled for a Saturday, oh for sure. I
Right.
would find a place to crash, even if it was at like a rest stop or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like halfway home, I'd no problem. But because I work on Saturdays and, go to training on Wednesdays and Fridays, um, just a straight shot 2 hour drive back home.
I know one thing. Brian had an idea, which would be it, but it would need to be feasible for them
Hmm.
do it if they could go ahead and find some way of opening a type of trail
Yeah,
here. But
yeah, like
then
in
again, they
Holland
would
or something.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they could even maybe
Well,
think of doing that like that.
there's actually two people I train with
Hmm.
that live in the town I live in, and
Okay.
they drive. And then I know someone who lives all the way in Muskegon. He drives 3 hours.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's kind of it's crazy how we have all these guys and girls that live in this area travel
Mhm.
all the way down there to train, but we don't have a training facility here,
Right.
which I believe we should. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. How
But I can say I got to train with Rhino.
oh, yeah. And there's not a lot of people that can, that can
Yeah.
really say that. I mean, it's
Yeah. I did a seminar with Rhino and it was fun. It was
hmm
really fun. It was
right.
great. Yeah. I might head out here in a bit.
Yeah.
There's a pumpkin pie. There's pumpkin pie with my name on it,
Uh,
and
oh yeah.
and there's football on the TV too.
Yeah.
So
And my
gotta
wife
catch some of those games.
just got home
Yeah,
from being her mom, so
yeah,
I should spend some time.
yeah. Go spend time with your family.
Yeah.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, Tim.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much for having me on. Can't wait to be on again
Yeah. Well,
for
hopefully, yeah.
sure.
Well, I don't. Because of the Thursday game, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it right
That's all
after.
right.
Well,
We can always talk about it that weekend.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we don't go back to work till Monday.
Right. Exactly. Well, and yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank God
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
for coming on. Thanks. You
If you get
know.
if you guys have any questions for Tim or me about wrestling or whatever, put them below in the next podcast I'm on with them. We'll answer
Yeah.
them.
Oh yeah. Eventually, if we can get him on more often, if schedule allows,
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
have pick Aaron's brain or try to stump Aaron in
Try
wrestling.
to sum me with pro wrestling facts.
This guy is like a encyclopedia. Even though
I'm I'm only I'm
I
only
did stumble.
28 years I'm
Yeah,
only
even
28
though,
years old and
yeah,
I know a lot about pro wrestling.
yeah. But
So
I know there was one thing I stumped you on.
mm,
uh,
yeah, you got lucky
yeah,
there, Tim. You got really lucky there. But again, Tim, thank you so much
yeah.
for having me on today. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Stay safe, everyone, especially if you're traveling. Stay safe.
Right. Don't be drinking too much of that loaded eggnog.
Watch out for shoppers on Black Friday tomorrow, too. Oh,
Oh
man.
God. So are you going out shopping?
I might just do online shopping. It's easier
Right. Yeah, it is.
because I don't want to get in a fight with someone.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
You know how
Um,
those Black Fridays are, man.
yeah. Well, then you might actually be in a video that goes viral.
Maybe, who knows?
There's one. There's one guy at work.
Yeah.
I I've been talking to somebody.
Mm.
He has a temper when machines go wrong and stuff like that. And I keep telling this, if we could get that on video, it would go viral.
Right?
But I'm not gonna say the guy's
Oh,
name
man.
here. So, oh boy, he just gets so mad.
Oh,
Because you know
God.
how things go in on my line. Not just one thing goes wrong. Three
That's
pieces of
that's how
equipment
it
will
is
go
in
wrong.
our that's how it
Yeah,
is in Beef Pack.
right. Yeah,
Literally. It's every
yeah.
day.
But the difference with your line is it doesn't burn the. It burns, because my line's a continuous line, so the oven stops,
Yeah.
everything burns in them. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah. So
for sure.
all right, but
All right.
All right, we can
So what's
keep
the
the yeah.
tiny move? What? Okay, I mean, I can do a pretty good high knee. I can do it CM Punk style. The high knee. I don't get
Right.
it. But you guys, everyone, happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Have a
Happy
wonderful
Thanksgiving, everybody.
day. Have a wonderful weekend.
And one more. Roar!
Roar! All right, see you, Tim.
Yeah, see you, Aaron. All right,
See.
bye. All right, thank you guys for coming in. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Uh, hope everybody don't gain too many pounds because I know in just a few more weeks you're gonna have Christmas dinner. So uh, then you gotta work the whole year, work the rest of the year to work those pounds off. But yeah, it's been good. Thank you guys. And this is Tim. This is Maniac Tim with Maniac Sports signing off. Happy Thanksgiving. Um, just enjoy the time again with your family. Um, and like Aaron said, you guys on the road, get home safe and everything like that. All right. You guys all have a good one. Thank you.